Now, did you have your own list you wanted to share, or is it mostly just gonna be me sharing?
Like I said, I don't think I've seen enough to really judge, so
So just chime in whenever you feel have one you can talk about.
I'll pull up a list just so I can remember stuff and maybe throw a couple honorable mentions in there.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I feel like we're going to talk about some of the same films. The other ones that are ones I'm going to mostly be describing to you.
Yep, I was already recording.
Oh, it's already recording. All right, well, that's going to be an awkward cut. Hey everyone, my belly. I'm getting fat. Anyway, hey guys. Sorry, this is so long overdue. Just this month has just been insane. We finally had some time because thankfully it's a slower movie week.
Yay!
So we were like, all right, let's just crack down. Let's just do this. So you've seen the headline for the video. You already know what you're here to see. Grant, last year was just fucking insane overall. So you missed a lot of the good ones. So this is mostly going to be me talking at you for a lot of these.
Yeah.
But I wanted somebody to talk to because when it's just me doing these, I tend to talk really fast and I remember more than usual. So I needed an anchor. So thank you for being available.
Yeah, what better to keep you from talking fast and getting the other fast-talking guy?
Exactly. See, it works when we bounce off each other. So first off, before we get into the main list, some honorable mentions. Like, honestly, the making the best and worst is for this year was really, really hard because there's a lot of movies I really liked and I wanted to put on this list. And there are also a lot of movies I hated that I had to put on the list. But I'll get to that when I get to the worst list. So I have 3 honorable mentions for this video for the best of the year. A couple of them might surprise you, actually. Mm-hmm. First one that I have for honorable mention. These are in no particular order. Star is Born is an honorable mention for me. Not on the list. As movies I know my top 10. Kind of like what I said for the review, I think the first act for The Star is Born is unbelievably good. But I think it kind of putters out and loses momentum after that.
Okay.
At least in my opinion, because like that first act, up until they get like the first concert, and when Lady Gaga sings her song and stuff like that, all that is unbelievably good. And if Lady Gaga's got that Oscar for Best Original Song in the bag, like it's not even a question. And if it does, it'd be the biggest crime there, outside of giving Suicide Squad any award recognition.
Not unless James Gunn makes the sequel good.
Oh, we can dream. Speaking of superhero teams, though, Avengers Infinity War is also an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Really good, but I decided I was going to pick only one more movie this year, and that was not the one I was going to go with. So,
trying to remember what the other one. Oh yeah, Black Panther and Ant-Man were the other 2.
Yeah, so I was like, I had to pick one of those 3, and I was like,
I wonder which one.
Yeah, I know, big shock. Yeah, I know. It's like, well, yeah, surprise, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Anyway, so I know, shocker. But no, Avengers Infinity War did a lot of stuff right, and it's like it is really such a damn good movie. I think what kind of knocked off the list for me is the fact, though, it is so dependent on you knowing everything going into it.
And the fact that it's a setup for part 2.
Which isn't a bad thing inherently. It's just more like that does definitely kind of knock it down a couple of points, though.
Yeah. Because I remember I really did enjoy that one, too. Like, the fact they did this balancing act with so many characters.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, it never really slowed down, but like in a good way where it's like, it was just a constant barrage of fun.
Yeah. And we mixed in with that.
Yeah. Not so fun.
Mixed in with the entire audience, dead fucking silent, going, Is this happening? Is everyone just dying?
What is that? Do I hear the pitter-patter of children's tears on the floor?
I remember that movie because I was dressed up as Spider-Man in dressed up as Spider-Man at the premiere, and there's this little kid also dressed up as Spider-Man behind me. And we just stood up and we just looked at each other, and it was just like, I know. Right after you just watched Spider-Man horrifically die. Since then, my girlfriend sent me Avengers memes. It was when she's like a bag of ash that said Avengers crossword, like jigsaw puzzle on the top. Or just says Robert Downey Jr. making a sandcastle on the beach, and it said like, "Oh, he's remembering Spider-Man" or something.
Oh, Jesus.
And then third I want to mention is A Quiet Place is actually on honorable mention.
Yes. Oh god, that was such a good one.
It was a really good movie, and that's like it was really hard to choose whether or not to put on this list or not.
Of the stuff I have seen, it probably would be, but admittedly,
It wasn't an earlier draft
Yeah.
of this list. It was definitely their earlier draft. Then it kind of came between this and one other movie as far as like horror movies for the year, and I was like, I love The Quiet Place. It's not as
I know which one
good.
you're gonna pick.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get there. A lot of these are kind of like if or like
Yeah. But
choices.
yeah, freaking loved Quiet Place too. Just like great sensory movie, in terms of how they use the silence to build up the tension.
No, the sound design is phenomenal.
Yeah, like I think I only had like 2 complaints. Like, you already know them, where I thought like there was some kind of moments where like you felt like some of the characters could have done just a little bit more, as well as the twist was pretty obvious.
Yeah. What even was the twist? I don't even remember.
What their weakness was.
Oh yeah. That was kind of like the comic book reader and me going like, well, why don't you just do that?
Yeah.
Just like I've read this story. It's an obvious weakness.
Yeah.
Clap really loudly in its ear. Cymbals. Bang, bang, bang. The one time get the fucking marching band in there. They'll save the entire universe.
Wow, this is the darkest reboot of the Grinch ever.
Oh god. Oh, now I just imagine aliens on their ship. Oh, the noise. I must stop this whole thing. I must murder all of them. See, this is why I didn't want to do this alone. Alright. On to the actual list. Now, I'm going to do something a little different this year in that I'm going to put a link of all the reviews for these movies in the description. I'm not going to say what the name of the movie is in the description. It's going to just have by number. So 10's going to have a link to that, whatever's in the 10 spot, and so on and so forth. As usual, only movies that I saw and reviewed are qualified for this list. There's a few I reviewed in January that are qualified for this list because they technically came out in December, so I'm counting it. So everything that's they'll play season 6 of MTCN Review Team qualifies. So number 10 might surprise you a little bit. Paddington 2 is my number 10 spot.
I've heard nothing but good things about that movie.
That movie is so goddamn delightful.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. Yeah, it's me and Howard saw it, and we walked away so happy and so hopeful. And that came out in January, so we're like, maybe this year won't be crap, because we got to see Mad Eye Moody talk with a walking teddy bear, and he squeezed oranges from his hands, and it was amazing.
And then this year turned out to be a little worse than last.
Wait, what was that?
And this year turned out to be a little worse than last.
A little bit, but I think there was still a lot of really good stuff that came out this year, and a lot of bright spots that came in here. There's still plenty of shit. But then again, you saw more of the shit than the good stuff, so maybe that's why I have a more balanced view on the subject.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. But Paddington 2 is just one of those movies, from beginning to end, it's just so damn charming, and it has Hugh Grant having so much fun as the villain.
He's been doing that a lot lately.
I know, and he's great at it. I hope he keeps doing it.
Was he the one who was having a lot of fun with Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yeah, that was another one. He's definitely owned the smarming older British man kind of motif. Except in this one he plays an actor who gets in various disguises. So there's a scene where he's in his attic and he's clearly just insane because he's talking to the other mannequins that are dressed up in his old stage suits, and he's playing those characters talking to himself. It's like, oh, I know, Ebenezer, we need to get those papers immediately. It's like, no, Hamlet, we can't kill them all. Stuff like that. So like, all right, it's also very Monty Python, like British humor to it too. There's just a part where they're making marmalade with Mad Eye Moody in the kitchen, and he's just passing these oranges to him, and Mad Eye Moody just going squish with like one hand and chucking them aside, grabbing another handful, squish. Doesn't peel them, just like one hand, squeeze, get all the juice out immediately, chuck it aside. It makes more sense when you watch it, but it's really just a really damn charming movie. That's my number 10 spot. And number 9 is the best comedy that nobody saw The Death of Stalin.
Yeah, I still need to see that.
It is shockingly hard to find this in the U.S.
Yeah, that's what I told because I got a fairly limited release. Like, it's easier to get it online now.
Yeah, like I tried finding this on Blu-ray, I can't find it. Like I can't find one that sells one in the U.S. Yeah.
I could have sworn I've seen it.
Good luck is all I'm saying. It's on Amazon. I tried Googling it. I haven't found it on there. They have it on like DVD, and you can like stream it, but you can't buy it on Blu-ray. At least not in the U.S. You get the UK release. But you can't do it in the U.S. And, I mean, granted, I've seen the movie. I can kind of see why. Because, like, you want, like, dark political satire humor. This is as dark as it fucking gets. Because this movie will have, have these hilarious introductions of characters. Because every time a major character is introduced, they have this big, dramatic, like, slow motion, like, Russian music, as their name comes over there, as they're doing something just absurd. Like, Steve Buscemi's character is introduced in that same way as doing, like, belly bumps with one of his cabinet mates. As they're just being jackasses, so they're doing this, like, oh, belly bump, they're just doing that, and all of a sudden just cut slow-mo, and it's like, secretary of whatever on the bottom there. And like, what was my? It's like it's one of those ways. It's so goddamn funny. I saw it with Laura. We laughed our ass off, and it has like such great dark jokes. Like his execution squad after Stalin officially dies, and it's like down the line, it's like bang goes the next one, dang. It goes like, but I know Stalin. Stalin's dead. Bang, and then, that's not even the dark joke part of that joke. The next one is when I was like, stop. Execution's over. He goes, oh, okay. He just walks away, and all the people still standing at the wall waiting to be shot are like. And they're saying like, do we go? Do we stay here? Do we go? And yeah, just oh god, it's so goddamn funny. Everyone's trying to backstab each other, but they're doing like in just the most ridiculous, like buffoonish ways. Meanwhile, cut to the real world scenario, and just horrific shit is happening. Like people are being abducted, there's kidnapping, there's murder on the street. Then you come to these jackasses in like this fucking political group who will not stop fucking with each other. And then a man gets burned alive at the end. Spoiler. So, Death of Stalin. You need to watch it. It's so good.
I know it's on. Yeah, I'll check it out online.
Because I think it's a lot of the Monty Python people are in there too.
Woo!
At least some of these same actors are. But yeah, I watched it recently. It's still just as funny as when I first watched it. So. Speaking of weird off-color comedies, my number 8 is The Favorite.
I know that has been a really divisive one between critics and people who watch it.
That one is one, the more I've watched it, the more I've liked it. Especially when I kind of understand what it was doing a bit more. First off, it has pretty good characters, but it's definitely a movie that feels almost like a practical joke. In that the trailers and everything make it seem like it's like this ultra, like, smulchy, like, old Victorian era, like, drama, but it's really not. There's slightly dramatic elements in there, but it really is a comedy. It really has a lot of weird-ass comedy elements that have warmed on me since I first seen it. You watch my review on it, the first, like, 10 minutes are me just processing the film I just watched. I was like, this was weird! But, like, the more I've sat on, the more I've thought about it, like, okay, this was actually a really damn good movie, and has really good characters in there, too. And has, like, some of the driest fucking wit, like, I have heard all year. Like, here was an actual joke in the movie. It was, like, Emma Stone, in one of her best performances of her career. Emma Stone plays, like, this person who, this woman who comes in to work for the Queen, whose aide is Rachel Weisz, who basically rules the kingdom. Because the Queen is kind of wants to be a child, that kind of character. But Emma Stone comes in and like slowly starts to befriend the Queen a bit, and then and then tries to basically work her way up, and she gets the attention of like one of the court people, and he comes into her chambers one night because of like the crappy like maid centers and stuff like that, and then she just looks at him and goes, "Are you here to seduce me or rape me?" And he goes, "I'm a gentleman." "Oh, rape then," and he just goes, and she just goes limp.
Holy shit.
That's an actual joke in the film. I didn't edit a word of that. That's not exaggerated. That is word for word what is said.
Wow.
There's a part where like she gets excited, like Queen gets excited because she wants to race lobsters with her and stuff like that. It's a weird ass film. There's a part where, like honestly, a lot of the comedy just comes from like some weird shit that happened in this film, and also kind of why you need to watch it. Like there's a part where it's like a banquet hall. Like one of those old ballroom dances kind of thing, and with reached by some random guy, but then it keeps coming back to the dances, and it just gets weirder and weirder. Like they start doing like breakdancing moves at one point, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? But it works. It works well because the acting's so good and the characters are surprisingly well written. So even though like some weird shit is happening, you're strangely invested in this cockamamie world they've invented. I mean, this is also the same guy who made the Lobster movie, I think. So.
I had a feeling it was. He's like, why does this sound like the guy who made the Lobster? Because the guy who made the Lobster.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't even seen the Lobster, and I know that this felt like this kind of movie. Because like you were talking about this, and that was all I could think of the entire time you were describing this.
But yeah, honestly, it's worth watching just for the wit alone, because the wit is so good. And there's a reason, like, a lot of the actors got nominated for this. Like, even the Queen, I forget the actress name played her. Just, it's such a great job. It's such, like, this manic, crazy performance. Like, she's a woman that's clearly losing her mind slowly but surely, because I think she has, like, gangrene or something on her leg that's causing her, like, chronic pain. But, like, one of their opening, like, jokes in the movie is, there's, like, this poor man. There's, like, this poor child guard who's standing there. And then she's like, she gets upset about something, and she's charged up to him and goes like, they're like, did you look at me? They're like, and he's kind of staring like, don't look at me! Look at me! Then he looks over, how dare you! So, it was one of the weirdest films in the year, but the more I've thought about it, the more it's grown on me, so that's what it's... So if any of the jokes I said have appealed to you at all, you'll find something to enjoy. And not to mention this part, Rachel Weisz gets an eye patch, and it looks awesome. Then that was number 8. So number 7 is this is where I had to put the comic movie. This is Black Panther.
Yeah.
Now you this one you actually did see, I hope.
I did.
Alright. Because I know this one's fairly controversial right now, again. It dipped away for a while, but now it's kind of back in the public eye because the whole Oscar nomination thing, which I am in the pro camp for. I don't know about you personally, but...
I felt like there were probably better movies that should have been up there. Like, it's...
Like, I think we're going to replace any movie. Black Panther was not the one that needed to be replaced.
Like, I get why it's up there, because I understand your reason, for example, like how, like, it's important the comic book movie like this gets taken seriously. Mm-hmm. And this is definitely, like, the deepest one in terms of, like, how it's weaved in political allegory and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like there were probably better movies out there, like, you know, Black Klansman, what was it?
Black Klansman was not.
Sorry, not that one. It was the other, what was the one where...
If Beale Street Could Talk.
That would have been one. There was the other one with, like, the guy, shit.
Like, here's the thing, though. Here's my problem I have with a lot of that argument going around, because I've heard that a lot, too, is the fact that people will shit on Black Panther being on the list, but are totally okay with Bohemian Rhapsody and Vice being on that list. And if you want to talk about things that do not deserve to be there, those are 2 movies I would cut right after immediately.
That made even less sense based on the stuff I've heard.
So, like, you know what? Like, Black Panther is better than both movies combined. So I have no problem with that being on this list.
And that is definitely understandable.
So, like, that's kind of the issue that... keep in mind, I've been on Twitter a lot, so I've seen a lot of this dumb argument go around and around. So, like, that's what's argument I'm kind of sick of. Like, well, there are better movies that can all go on there. It's like, but you're okay with Vice? Did we watch that same movie? Well, I'll talk about Vice later.
I know you said, like...
I hated Vice.
Yeah, I just know you said that Christian Bale did a really damn good job.
The acting was great for a shitty movie. But again, I'm going to save that for the next list. But... No, Black Panther is, I think it is such a culturally significant film. I do think it definitely deserves a spot on there. It might even win, considering the ones that are on there right now, and considering the controversy the other ones have drawn over. Because let's face it, Roma is a foreign film, which don't usually get Best Picture nods to begin with. Bohemian Rhapsody has the Bryan Singer controversy going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, Roma, to be fair, there have been foreign picture nominations that actually have won Best Picture. Case in point, I believe. Was The Artist technically a foreign film? Because that wasn't
no,
like
it wasn't.
actually I thought that was like a French one or something.
Nope. It was English.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, it was done by a French production group.
Still marketed and promoted as being
at the same
American
time,
film.
it's being done by Alejandro Iñárritu, so it's like he usually rakes these in.
So like, but even like my point is though, like the other contenders aren't necessarily like there's no clear winner this year compared to usual.
Right.
So like, honestly, it has a chance. I'm not saying it's gonna, but it has a chance. But no, I think in terms of not just like I think the themes are I've watched the movie several times now, so I've had a chance to analyze the themes a bit more. I think what it does with its themes, I think it does with its characters. I mean, like, if you want to nitpick it, some of the elements, like, oh, the CGI isn't great, like, okay, but it's not about the fucking CGI.
Yeah. For me,
it's about black people that actually have power in a situation, which is honestly a big fucking deal that this not got nominated for that reason.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think about, like, most of the time, whenever you have, like, an African-American movie, it's usually about either them dealing with slavery, dealing with oppression, dealing with some kind of form of racism. We never actually see an Oscar-nominated movie that has black people in a position of power. That is a good thing. And I'm considering the last case Scotland in that regard.
Yeah.
Because that was very much played as like the black man is the tyrant in that film. This is the case like, no, he's the hero, he's the protagonist, he is who you want to root for and who you want to be. And I think that's a really, really big deal.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
Yeah, so, and yeah, like, let's mention, it goes back to like most of the cast and crew were black too, weren't they? Like the director was.
Yeah, it was Ryan Coogler. The guy did Creed 2 and
Yeah.
Oh God.
Not Creed 2.
Sorry, Creed and oh my God, the one about Oscar Grant and the BART station, Fruitvale Station.
Yeah. But like I think this is easily one of the best Marvel movies out there.
Yeah, I agree.
With easily one of the best villains, and I think it is one that definitely stands up above the rest and saying like, okay, we're at a point with these movies where we can say something now. We're not just doing popcorn entertainment. We're gonna have commentary. We're gonna actually have something to say about the state of the world and whether or not it's okay for us to get involved in. The themes of isolationism versus collectivism is a prevalent theme throughout. And again, the fact that a superhero movie is doing that and is being recognized for doing that is a big, big deal.
Yeah.
And I think it deserves recognition for that.
Yeah.
And I think it's also what elevates it beyond the other movies I previously mentioned.
And I agree with that because like. In terms of the comic movies this year, like I totally agree. Like it definitely is like one of the best ones. Definitely the best of this year.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it
like did I enjoy it as much as some of the other ones? Maybe not quite, but like this had like the most substance to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like and it's like yeah. I mean, it's not perfect. I think it does kind of like fall apart a little. I don't want to say fall apart, but not as exciting in the third act because you can tell the scale wasn't quite where it wanted to be. But I think for everything it accomplished, everything it set up, and everything it did for comic movies and the industry in general, I think this movie absolutely deserves all the recognition it's getting. And especially now, I do a lot of kids parties, and now I have like so many kids talking about Black Panther than I've ever heard in my life. So that's a really cool fucking thing.
Yeah.
So that was number 7.
Actually, you know what? I technically lied.
What?
I think there was one better comic book movie for me.
What's that?
Is it on the list?
I don't think so. Oh, yes, there is. Yeah, we'll get to that. And then number 6, this is If Beale Street Could Talk. This was an Oscar snub.
Yeah, this one I really wanted to see, given how much I really love Moonlight.
Yeah. This one I felt like I understood better than Moonlight.
Well, this one's much more accessible for Moonlight.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't a case where I already saw Moonlight. Like I am in no position to talk about this in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
No, If Beale Street Could Talk was a really, really beautifully shot and directed romance film that definitely did play on some themes of police brutality or at least police discrimination. It wasn't necessarily the focus, though. It was an element. It wasn't necessarily the focus. It felt more like a plot device than anything else, really.
Yeah.
The focus really was just on the relationship between the two main characters and how they would deal with the situation. And you know that was the focus they wanted to, because like there's this whole B-plot that's done through narration, because you can tell the movie's like, we don't want to focus on this. Because there's a lawyer in the movie, and at the point they do like the whole like, he's not that interested in the case at first, and then he gets more invested, and that puts him in odds with his superiors and other schmoozing. But it does it all in like 5 minutes of narration, where it just tells you all that. It's like, all right, here's this thing you need to know. Okay, back to this. It's like we in no way want to create a white savior in this film. Let's go back to the main focus. I take my previous statement back. There is definitely I would say like talks about police discrimination. It's a larger theme in this movie than I initially stated, but it's not the focus, but it's definitely a prevailing theme and influence throughout, I would say. But that being said, the best parts on the movie are the way that the romance scenes are shot and the way the cinematography is absolutely beautiful, and you get this great chemistry. Like the movie has this amazing job at producing this intimacy between these characters, and like through lingering close-up shots or just the way different angles that they got. I don't know how it does it, but the way they use the lighting and music and all that stuff produces such this great intimacy. You feel like you're in that moment, and it's a fantastic movie that deserved an Oscar nomination way more than Bohemian Rhapsody did, because that movie can fuck right off.
Yeah, it's like everything I heard about Bohemian Rhapsody and like Vice at best were average. Like,
I mean, granted, I might be a little biased because I had my own weird experience in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that was a story.
But that's my number 6 spot. So number 5 is one you actually saw. This is Widows.
Yay!
I mean, you want to talk about a great ensemble cast? This movie blew it out of the park. Now, who directed this one again?
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen. All right. And I'm blanking. What else has he done?
12 Years a Slave.
Okay, which is another movie I really, really liked.
I know he's done a lot of other ones too, but that's just the first thing that comes to mind when I hear his name lately.
Mm-hmm.
I think he also did Shame. He's done a lot, but I can never remember what he's done.
Okay.
He's mostly a drama guy, so the fact he kind of like got this. I mean, granted, the action wasn't really the focus; it was pretty light up. But like,
no, this movie felt like just dark. Like this movie felt just gritty and dirty and just in that dark space of this world. And and again, it had such great actors: Viola Davis, Liam Neeson, was it Gina Rodriguez?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez. I don't know where I got Gina. But anyway. But no, like all these like all the action that's there is very direct and it feels very real and has some and again same guy from Get Out who's in this film.
David Oyelowo.
Yeah. Who plays like the hitman guy. But also the scene like in some movies that's such brilliant writing and such brilliant direction and camera angles and camera work. Cinematography. Thank you. I'm tired. I feel like I said it every week now, but it's always true. I'm always tired.
Yeah, aging.
Hey, we're not in college anymore.
Oh, who are we kidding? We were tired then too.
Yeah. I've been tired since I was 16.
I mean, I think it was that week I was up for like 24 hours, like 3 days in 1 week. That screwed me over.
Yeah, I never did that. I was way smarter than that. That being said, there was a few midnight binges. I don't think I went to bed like 4 in the morning. But anyway, back to Widows, so we don't waste more time than we need to. No, Widows was just one of those movies like you walk away like that was fucking awesome, and it's been a while since you get a movie that felt like that in that way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where it just felt like you visited this darkness and you came out the other side, kind of thing. It's easily the best thriller of the year.
Yeah.
By far, and that's
definitely a good. For me, that was also a good example of a feminist movie done right.
Yeah, like strong, powerful women, not overwritten.
Women.
What? Wait, powerful women. That sounds like a weird sexist Elmerfoot. Anyways,
but yeah, back to the.
Yeah. Your point.
Yeah, like as you said, these are really well developed. They each have their strengths, they have their weaknesses. They feel real, but they're given power and control, like in a way that felt believable and made sense in the confines of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, they weren't overwritten. They were written just right. They felt like real people going through real issues, and that made that it didn't feel like this is what Hollywood think women talk like kind of thing. Wait, what?
No, for me, this feels like the antithesis to what Ghostbusters are trying to attempt.
Oh, Ghostbusters! I can legitimately not understand what the hell you just said.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Ghostbusters was his own fucking thing, and apparently it's still causing shit. Yeah. And I'm so tired of Ghostbusters by now.
I'm excited for the new one, though.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, it's more like I'm excited at the prospects. I'm still need to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of, that could go either way right now. I'm always kind of iffy on those.
I'm just glad they got Jason Reitman directing it.
Ghostbusters movies really kind of fall into the category, like, the first one was such lightning in a bottle, like, I don't think we're ever going to get that again. Yeah. That's kind of my view on it, and it has been for a long time, and I'm in the camp that think the sequel sucks. Like, I do not like Ghostbusters 2.
I just thought it was
And I did not like the new Ghostbusters either.
Oh yeah, that one I hated.
That was mostly because of Paul Feig than any of the actors in it. To be fair,
yeah, because the actors clearly tried. It's just
they were like I don't think it was
the writing and
it was very Paul Feig. It wasn't Ghostbusters.
Yeah. What else? But yeah, just watch Widows if you can. That is such a damn good heist movie.
Yeah. And
also. That was the other thing I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Like, it kind of speaks on a, societal level in those regards too. Like how this is kind of meant to
treat single women,
or to say try to.
I
was gonna say just how to treat like giving powerful women in cinema. Like it's
yeah.
like this thing is trying to act as like that. This is how you do it.
Yeah, and it's a good template if they wanted to keep doing this kind of stuff. And number 4, you can talk about one of these, because this is my yearly tie, because I couldn't choose from these two, and I didn't want to rank them, and I really want to put Paddington 2 on my list. So, this is a tie between Sorry to Bother You and Black K Klansman.
Oh, sorry to bother you. I'm not sure if it'd be on my top 10, but I really freaking like that movie a lot.
I think it gets on my list, because I guess I would like Black K Klansman does. I think both movies are very similar in terms of tone.
Yeah.
And kind of what they're trying to say. I think I have to give credit to Sorry to Bother You just for its ambition and how it plays up its social satire to such a Brazilian level.
Yeah, like it goes full on surreal.
Brazilian as in the movie Brazil, just to be clear on that.
Yeah,
not some any weird like racial stereotype or whatever. I don't even know what that would be. I'm sure some racist will tell me.
Watch the Simpson episode about that where they literally offended the.
Oh, that's an actual thing. Okay.
Yeah, basically Brazil got mad that they were hyped up as a crime-ridden sex pot country.
So now I realize how my previous statement can be misconstrued.
Yeah.
So let me rephrase that and just say, Sorry to Bother You is a lot like the film Brazil and how it presents its social satire and how it plays with the extremes of where you can push that satire in a way that has a very good chance of losing your audience, but still works in a way that there's no way it should.
Yeah.
Without giving it away, because it's one of those things that out of nowhere-ness of that twist is kind of what makes it work too, because I showed that movie to Howard, and it was so hard not to say anything.
Yeah, I still need to show Jasmine the movie, and we've somehow avoided spoilers around here for that movie.
That's impressive. I mean,
someone almost spoiled it. I think it may or may not have been Howard.
I've had to stop Howard a couple times on that one. I was like, God damn it, Howard.
Yeah. Like a certain cameo in a certain movie that I've yet to see.
Oh yeah. Yeah. To be fair, you're not missing much of that film.
I have a feeling I'm probably going to enjoy it more than you guys did, knowing me.
You're going to have the same problem with the third act that I did. I can almost guarantee it.
Okay.
Because I know you well enough that I'd be shocked that didn't bother you.
Yeah.
But as far as so let's Sorry to Bother You, Black K Klansman kind of plays in the same approach, except it's more of a biopic, but definitely seems that same kind of comedic but also kind of drama theme to it.
Here's the interesting
in a more direct approach.
Interesting thing about that was I remember, ironically enough, that these movies are tied. I think Boots Riley, the guy who directed Sorry to Bother You.
Oh, he hates Black K Klansman. Yeah, I read about that.
How he has issues with the way that the protagonist is portrayed because he said he was like a sellout that like actually did damage to the black community. Supposedly, I'd have to look into this stuff.
I think a lot of that is too, because that one does not paint the police in 100% negative fashion too,
right.
Which I think he has some contention with.
Well,
which I could be wrong. Correct me if I am.
Yeah, well, given like some of the historical precedents that this person has set, that's also.
I mean, like you can definitely tell that. What was the name of the director? Sorry to bother you.
Boots Riley.
Boots Riley definitely feels stronger about how society treats black people in America than Spike Lee does.
Which is ironic because Spike Lee is incredibly vocal about stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like even you watch Sorry to Bother You, realize just how much it is clearly equating modern day capitalism to slavery.
Yeah. Although also to be fair, Jordan Peele was the one who produced BlacKkKlansman as well.
Still though.
So I'm just saying that kind of has.
I mean, you always kind of question now how much it produced realistically. Yeah. Steven Spielberg produced 3 Transformers movies. So, I just gotta take that with a grain of salt in terms of their influence.
That's true. Yeah, it really depends on the person. Because, like, as far as I know, the main thing that Spielberg did was get, what's-her-face fired.
Megan Fox?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a whole thing. By the way, Bumblebee's not on my list, if anyone was wondering.
I still need to watch that one.
I liked it, but it's not top 10 material.
Which is understandable.
But no, I think both movies are... I will say, as far as like BlacKkKlansman, as compared to Sorry to Bother You is concerned, BlacKkKlansman is much more direct about what it's trying to say, especially with the last 5 minutes of the film, that just straight up just shows the riots from, what was it, Charlottesville? Where basically, at that point, it kind of does it like... Dear White People did, where it kind of like, oh, that was really like a hyper dramatized version of this. Like, that can't be how it's really done, right? And then we go, no, fucking look at it! Look at you, motherfucker, look at it! This is still fucking happening! And that kind of drives the point home in a way, which
right.
I know pissed a lot of people off, but I'm like, yeah, but it fucking happened. Yeah. It happened, what, last year?
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of stuff that happened over the past couple of years.
So it's kind of like, we don't get complete ignorance or over-dramatization. We can just get the point across by just showing you what happened.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. So was it just Charlottesville he showed, or some other stuff as well, like Ferguson?
I don't know about Ferguson. I think it was mostly focused on the racism aspect. Because it was about the Klan and stuff like that. So like the whole, like the... torches. It also showed that guy getting run over.
Right. Oh yeah, I remember she did not. Yeah, I forgot.
The guy got run over played a big part in that.
Because some guy ran over a woman. That was it, right?
Yeah, and it was a very clear like racist attack because they were just protesting, and the guy said, "I'm going to run you over now," and that's what he did.
Yeah.
And they show that pretty much as is without a whole lot of cuts to it. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of powerful imagery. It's still very comedic, and of course the actors do good job with it. Topher Grace, I guess, felt disgusted playing this part, but he does it really well.
Sadly, he really looks spot on as David Duke. Yeah. That's what scared me.
Yeah.
Ooh, you poor bastard.
Yeah, but I think both movies definitely have merit in their commentary in terms of how society has and does treat black people at large, and that's why I tied them. Even though they are very different movies in their own right.
Yeah, definitely see. Like I said, I can definitely recommend Sorry to Bother You because, just like I said, great surrealist political commentary, freaking original in how how it tries to present itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's kind of hard to really beat something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely by far the most original. Well, it's up there as the most original film I saw this year. Which leads me to number 3. It was either gonna be this or The Quiet Place, and it had to be this one, Hereditary. Yeah.
Which I still need to see.
And I haven't seen that?
No, and I got it spoiled too.
Oh.
I was like, frack. Well, I got what happens in the end of the first act spoiled.
Yeah.
So that's like, wow, that puts this thing into an entirely different light. Now I'm very curious.
Yeah, I know. And again, I'm not gonna say it here for those who haven't seen it yet. I know I took Laura to go see that movie, and when we got to that sequence, and it is so abrupt, and I looked over at her reaction, and she was doing. like actively like trying to push the invisible screen away. Just a whole lot of nope.
Hey, we get to see this in IMAX 3D with ah!
Didn't need to be in 3D. You can fucking feel it. So like, I know that turned a lot of people off, but it's one of those things like that. And the problem is like that's not the height of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it still has a lot to go from there.
Yeah, I heard it's an incredible psychological drama.
Oh, it is. I mean, at the end, like without giving really spoilers, I mean, like as far as like metaphysical, like psychological commentary goes, I would say Babadook probably does it better because that one you can still kind of debate whether or not the monster is actually real. This one's definitely it's ghosts. But yeah, but I mean, like that being said, it still explores the idea of hereditary disease and like what's spread from person to person, like how it can damage your mind, your family, all that stuff. So like there's still a lot of psychological elements developed. Just don't expect a metaphysical ending. But that being said, this movie scared the shit out of me, and it is hard to scare me with a movie nowadays. So we walked out of there just dead silent, like fuck, like all those things that happened. Shit.
Mom, do we have a history of mental illness?
Oh, god damn, that fucking movie. I'm still thinking about it now, some of the shit that happens, especially toward the third act, when things really get fucking nuts.
Was that actor, like, has, like, PTSD, supposedly, from this thing?
Is there a... I haven't heard about that. But
The son.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That poor kid. Okay, without going into spoilers, but like what I loved about this movie is like there's very few jump scares in the film. Like there's a couple here, but they're very earned. And the ones like the scares are just atmospheric and like in the background or in the scenery that you might even not notice on your first viewing, but you get a subconscious feeling that something's wrong until you watch it again later, like, oh fuck, that's why. Because there's some like things I should have noticed that I completely missed in the first time I watched it. I read about it later, watched it again, like, son of a bitch. Like, again, without going into spoilers, there's this one sequence later on where, again, I'm not going to say any names or anything like that at all, but there's this one person where a person just in the bedroom, and they're just kind of sitting up, and nothing's happening, and then your eyes kind of slowly adjust to the darkness, and you realize there's just someone just clinging to the wall in the background. And the best part about that scare though is it slowly dawns on you, and because of that, you have an idea to kind of get in that same mindset of. Did you ever have that feeling as a kid when you walked into a dark room and you heard a noise that you weren't sure where it came from, and you stood absolutely still to see if it would move again?
Oh, I still do that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Like you're almost afraid to move, because then whatever's back there will start moving towards you.
Yeah.
So it definitely pulls on that series. It does a great series of dread, very atmospheric, wonderfully shot. The acting is amazing, and it's gonna. Horror still deserves its day in court in the Oscars, but who knows when that will happen.
Well, it's kind of what recognition sci-fi has when it comes to Best Picture and all that.
This is true. Although Blade Runner got nominated last year, didn't it?
Yeah, but there's never been a sci-fi movie that has ever won. There's been horror, but never sci-fi.
Interesting. What's the horror one? Silence of the Lambs?
Actually, yes, I believe that was one of them.
Okay.
Let me double check, because, oh man, it's going to bug me now. Horror movies win Oscar. Oh, Get Out. Wait.
I'm not sure I really call that a... I don't know if I really call that a horror movie, though. It's a horrifying movie, but not a horror movie in the traditional sense.
Yeah, that's true.
While you're looking that up, my number 2 is the one we can talk about. You want to take a guess?
Into the Spider-Verse!
Yep, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my number 2 pick. I mean, how many times have I worn the Spider-Man tights in this fucking show? How could it not be? Like, how could it not be in the number 2 spot? Like, this is, like, the last... Sorry to Bother You, Hereditary, and this movie are some of the most original films I've seen this year, and one of them's a Spider-Man movie. For a Spider-Man movie, the most original films I've seen this year is fucking saying a lot.
By the way, did you hear about Australian Spider-Man? That was apparently they wanted to put in the movie.
Wait, they want to put an Australian Spider-Man in there? I did not hear about this. No.
Oh, it was going to be great. So I'll get to it a little bit later because we need to. I guess for those of you who don't know, the whole story is like all these Spider-Men like converge.
Yeah,
and the
all
ones that don't
dimensions and all
belong.
that stuff.
The ones that don't belong there are supposed to. They're going to be like fading out of existence.
Yeah.
How they originally showcased that was.
No! I already see where this is going.
So they're gonna do the whole. Let's start from the beginning about how they came back to this time zone, and before they could do that, Australian Spider-Man turns to dust.
Oh!
And you want to know why?
Why?
Because the Australian time zone difference.
Ah! God damn it.
So he showed up 24 hours sooner than everyone else because of the time zone, and he.
Oh, Jesus.
And like Peter Parker's just like.
Oh, did you hear the joke that got cut from Spider-Ham?
Yes.
Yeah?
The Uncle Frankfurter.
Hey, Uncle Frankfurt, he got electrocuted. He smelled delicious. As a tear goes down his eye. Which I guess they said, like, that got a huge laugh every time. That kind of took you out of the moment.
It did. Kind of like me with the Luke Skywalker and the lightsaber.
Oh, don't fucking start that.
I still like that movie, but you gotta admit.
I liked that part of the movie. So.
No, I still find it funny. It's one of those things, like, it is a weird disconnect where it's like, this doesn't fit, but it's
We're not
funny.
talking about The Last Jedi. I'm not doing this again. People are still bitching about that on Twitter.
Fine, Force Awakens.
Let's start with Spider-Man. That's a movie we both like. Alright. I mean, you're talking about, like, movie that is honestly revolutionary in its own way. In terms of just the way it's animated, the way it's shot. This movie takes a lot of fun. Like, this is the first time Sony's approach of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks actually works.
Yeah.
And I guess it was bound to happen. Like, what's that thing? Put a monkey in a typewriter for eternity. Eventually, they'll make all of
it's like
Shakespeare's best plays.
1,000. It's 1,000 monkeys and 1,000 typewriters. They'll eventually write out the entire works of Shakespeare.
That was it. Yeah. That's kind of what this movie feels like. It's a hodgepodge of ideas that in no way should work, but it does.
And thank God, because that was a freaking blast.
Yeah, and it's like, this is a movie that if you called me today, like at 8 p.m., and said, hey, do you want to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse again? And I said, what time? And you said, in 20 minutes. And I would go, if I leave right now, I can come. Because, like, this movie it's so much fun. It's so rewatchable. It's such great character in depth. And, like, the voice acting is phenomenal. Like, there is, like, nothing wrong with this film.
Yeah.
There is damn near nothing wrong with this film.
Like, it helps that, like, you had Phil Lord doing the writing, who, Lego Movie, the Jump Street movies, the first Cloud of the Chance of Meatballs. Like, he's one of these guys that just has an eye for, like, how to show your love for something, but at the same time mock some of the attributes of it. Like with Spider-Man Noir. So many great things from him.
Spider-Man, or apparently I listened to something interesting about that. I think John Mulaney was talking about it, where he said that apparently they came up with so many like weird things for them to say, for Nicolas Cage to say, but then they'd have to go back and like fact check and make sure it wasn't some kind of slur, and it turns out there's some that were, and they had to like go back like delete. Okay, we can't use that one, guys. Like what was the one, like Turtle Snapper or whatever was on one of them in the actual movie.
Right.
Wasn't that one of the ones that Nicolas Cage states?
I can't remember. I just remember the match.
Well, I mean, like I think the weakest part of the movie was the fact that like the Kingpin was the main villain. Could have been maybe a little better, but even then, that wasn't really the focus. So that didn't really bother me all that much.
Yeah, and even then, what little they did have him there made him surprisingly fleshed out.
Yeah.
Like it covered the bases really effectively.
And also might have been the first gay Aunt May we've seen in a film this year. Oh, because this is one of the theories been going around lately. I'm personally shipping. You know that the Dr. Octopus in this one, spoiler I guess, if you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse yet, is, what was it, named Liv?
Yeah.
Well, in the comics, Aunt May almost gets married to Dr. Octopus in that universe, and the Dr. Octopus movie says, "Only my friends call me Liv," and then when Dr. Octopus shows up at Aunt May's house, she goes, "Oh, great, it's Liv." So it's been a theory going around. It's like, maybe they knew each other a little too closely. Maybe, which, I don't know, that'd be kind of an interesting twist, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Because I do remember, like, reading one of the comics where Doc Ock was, like, courting Aunt May.
Yeah, that happened. So much so that I think there was a joke when the 616 Spider-Man actually did meet the Miles Morales Spider-Man in the comics. He comes up there and is like, by the way, if my Aunt May in this universe ever gets too close to a man named Otto Octavius, stop them right away. But no, like, I mean, this movie has such brilliant. It's such a brilliant balancing act, and it's such a miracle in and of itself. And it's honestly, in my personal opinion, the best Spider movie out there. And it really makes me want a Spider-Ham movie or a Spider-Man Noir movie. It actually made me excited for spin-off movies, which none of these other Sony movies have actually managed to do. So I said, like, honestly, when they said this, they were making this movie, I was like, that's a great idea. Make an animated Spider-Man film. That's a great way to do something different and make a Spider-Man movie that doesn't have to worry about confusing the audience with MCU stuff.
Also, please.
Instead, we got Venom that made way more money, which is stupid.
Yeah, like, help this movie reach 200 million domestic. If you do, we'll get Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh my god. I mean, how's the movie doing nationwide, or not nationwide, worldwide?
Worldwide, actually pretty solid.
That's what I thought it would. I mean, it's definitely a movie that seems like it would appeal to a lot of people overseas.
Yeah.
Kind of like Aquaman, apparently, which is not on this list before you ask.
Like what?
Aquaman.
Oh. Well, I mean, overseas they love special effects laden flicks like that, so it makes sense.
Yeah. And it was a very fun, and I can't talk, CGI laden explosion fest. People. I wish they did. I want someone to get that clip and just play that over their entire army. 1 part crab, 1 part people, crab people. And that leads us to our number 1. If you've seen this video, the review for this, you know this is going to be on the number 1 list from the minute it got there. Won't You Be My Neighbor? I've watched this movie 5 times. I have cried every single time.
I was told that a lot of people were pissed that got snubbed.
Yeah, I was pissed too. I was one of them because I like that. Granted, I watch a lot of documentaries. So,
yeah. From what I've heard, it's a case of people saying, like, even though, like, emotional as this one is, like, the other ones are a bit more important to a degree, but at the same time, I really want to see that damn documentary!
I mean, like, what defines important, I guess, which is kind of a stupid metric in and of itself.
I'm guessing culturally, probably there's more political stuff, even though from what you've told me, this thing has a good message to it.
It does. It's I mean, like, I would argue it's more important now. Like, it shows that Mr. Rogers is so ahead of his time, and they promote it like, hey, like, you're okay as a person, and, like, you don't need all this like, well, granted, I'm paraphrasing Mr. this, but it's just more like, you know, it just promotes goodwill and good messages and fellowship and brotherhood and all that stuff, and it has such a good heart, and it speaks to so many people on so many different fronts. I watched a video of, like, kids today reacting to some of the stuff Mr. Rogers said back then, and kids still cry. It still affects them today. And it just goes to show that, like that's what kind of pisses me off. Like, other people have more important messages. Like, the kids are literally the next generation. They are more important, and they deserve more attention. That's what I love about this film.
Yeah.
It shows just what an impact he had on that culture, on the culture around us, and how it impacted how we view things, and again how he did something so ahead of his time. Do we need to pause for a second?
Yeah, I think we got our number 1, so I think this might be the place to end it.
Yeah, let's cut this one a little short. But yeah, if you watched your review for this, you know this is the one that led me just down a hardcore existential crisis. The point where, like, I think I had multiple people either call me or text me, and then the phone is like, "Are you okay?" But yeah, Once You Be My Neighbor, that's my number 1. I love it to death. It's honestly my favorite movies of all time. And if you can track it down, it's kind of hard to track down Blu-ray, but it's totally worth it, and it still makes me cry. So that's our best of the year list. We're gonna take a brief break, and then we're gonna dive into the shit band. Oh God, you've seen more of these.
That I have.
All right, thank you guys for watching. See you in a little bit.